Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. I'll have no hope. I think the first word that comes to me is hope. And I think all of us, we have our hopes, I'll say carnal hopes, which it might be your abilities, might be your job, your knowledge. If you went to school, you have those hopes that, you have the hope to have a better future. But without the resurrection, after death, then there's no hope. And I think a lot of people, they have those hopes until they get to an older age, and once they start seeing that important things that they lost because of the carnal hopes, that's when they face, what's next now, what I'm going to do now, how to recoup out of that. And I think the advantages of Christians, when we in church, we're learning and we accept Jesus, and we get to understand the resurrection. That's the hope, at least that's the hope we focus on. I still have my ambitions and my hopes, but I think the final word, the final thought is the resurrection of Christ. In my life, the way that affect not knowing and not having that hope was making mistakes. I made small mistakes, I made big mistakes, was decisions or was acts, was words that I said, things that I didn't do it that I should have done. So I think that's, when you know resurrection, it's that pivot point that, at that time was normal, which that's where I think can be dangerous, because a lot of us out there, we think that's normal. You're gonna come a time you're going to have your car. As you're a teenager, you're gonna have a car. People say that, and then what's next is college, and then maybe girlfriend, and then maybe getting married and kids. So you live on that time, and I think that can be dangerous, because you don't know if things are normal, and then things start happening in your life, and then people wondering why, and it's because a lot of people take the wrong way, even without knowing, and some people take the wrong way, rejecting Christ. They might boost themselves, thinking, once again, going back to, I have the knowledge, I have the qualifications, I'm skilled, I have money. So I think that not knowing, that's how it can be a dangerous path, even without knowing. That's what it's. Yeah, I was going to mention relationships, especially family relationships. Sometimes you don't care as much, take for granted, and even friends, and might be your first girlfriend. Sometimes don't respect or say things, or just act or understand the way that you shouldn't, or just not even knowing, you just do it, and that can be not good. I knew it was going to be a tomorrow, but I was never, thinking too much about it. But I was always scared of death. If you want to mention doing experimental, even down to heavy drugs or something like that, I was always scared about that. So I think that's being scared about death. So I did live kind of, wild, or just living. Let's say this word, living, without a purpose. I think that's a good word, without a purpose. But yeah, I was scared of death, because I always knew there was a God, the creator. Just never maybe trust him or have a relationship, but always inside of me there's something that, you know, I knew it. Yeah, that brought me hope, love for my own life, loving myself, that helped me at work, helping my personal dealing with everyday issues, even bringing back things, why did I act that way, so now I can fix, you know. So I think it's very important when the resurrection, it's a very good, besides the sacrifice that God did, it's a good example that was set, that I think changed a lot of things around that, you know. It's a good foundation that will change. So I think that takes away my fears. That's very big. And when I say fears, it's not just, you know, a little fear. It's a general fear of, you know, anything. Almost like when you have a young son and the young son needs daddy, you know, that type of comfort that, you know, someone can grab my hand and say, I'm here, come with me. So I would say that would be that hope, going back to that hope again. I can read about hope, as I was saying. 1 Peter 1:3 says, praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. So I think that's what my main thing is the hope. You know, I think everybody will agree with that.